What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Dell, man, and we back in the chat with another video today. Today, we got the highly favorite Elvis, man, and this is special. This is like a trivia because I didn't even know this, man. I'm starting to get a lot of information. We've been watching a lot of more videos together. We've been learning together, and y'all been teaching me in the comments. But we got, I think, how many people was it? I forgot. How many people was it? It's not an amount. People that Elvis couldn't stand. Ain't that crazy? Everybody got a group of people they don't want to be around. They get on your nerves and make you uncomfortable. They loud, they smell, something like that. Everybody got a certain group that you ain't gotta hate them. Like, yeah. They come to the barbecue. They come to the cookout. Nah, I ain't going. I don't want to be around them. Everybody got their people. So let's see who Elvis couldn't mess with.
Devoted to those he loved, he also had a short temper and had little patience for those he didn't like. Here are some celebrities Elvis couldn't stand. The careers of Elvis Presley and John Lennon took similar trajectories in that both were two of among the very biggest names in music and in popular culture as a whole at roughly the same time. Further, both men were big while the Vietnam War was going on. To say that the war was divisive is an understatement. Attitudes about the war extended beyond the well-publicized public demonstrations and the entire genre of music that protested the war. Public figures were quick to line up on either side of the debate as well. Celebrities like Jane Fonda and Muhammad Ali publicly opposed the war, while others like John Wayne supported it. Lennon was steadfastly opposed to the war in Vietnam and made no secret about it. Presley, however, supported the war, according to the Express, and was a big fan of then-President.
Dang. Well, I guess the war was big back then for people to be for the war. But that in that generation, I don't know, you have to be a part of that, I guess. But I really ain't taking no choice. Easy. I don't know. That's kind of, you got different beliefs. That's not, I don't think that's bad.
Lyndon Johnson,
everybody got their own opinion.
Hated for going all in on the war.
Honey, I just want to keep my own personal views about that to myself.
Yeah. When the two men finally met in 1965, their conflicting attitudes about the Vietnam War quickly came to the surface. No sooner had the Beatles entered Elvis's home than the tension between the two became apparent, according to author Chris Hutchins. Hutchins arranged the meeting and later wrote about it in the book Elvis and Lennon, the untold story of their deadly feud. He told the Daily Mail, "Elvis's dislike of the pacifist Beatle was born from the night I took the Fab Four to his house for the first and last meeting. Why? Well, according to the Beatles press officer Tony Barrow, things started off on the wrong foot. Barrow told The Guardian, John asked what had happened to the old rock and roll Elvis, who at that point was mainly singing the soundtracks to his films. He was half joking, but he meant it. The tension was eventually eased.
He was like, Elvis fell off. What happened to the singing? Oh, he throwing shots. He's like, why you doing this? What happened to the old Elvis? Everybody deal with that.
By an old-fashioned jam session, but the hard feelings apparently lingered. Barrow told The Guardian, John said it had been about as exciting as meeting Engelbert Humperdinck. As for the other Beatles, they weren't exactly blown away either.
I don't remember. I spent most of the party trying to suss out from his gang if anybody had any refund.
Elvis wasn't prepared to just stew about John Lennon, the Beatles' anti-Vietnam War stance, and the personal slight Elvis had suffered in his own home. He wanted Lennon gone, as in out of the USA. What's more, he actually went to none other than the President of the United States to get action. That's because Presley wasn't the only person keen to have Lennon.
My boy Elvis got so much power. He was like, President, I need you to discard this man and move him to Alaska. I don't care. I don't like him. Move his ass to Alaska. Hell nah. That's how you know Elvis was on, man. Elvis was that dude. He's that dude.
Gone, as in out of the USA. What's more, he actually went to none other than the President of the United States to get action. That's because Presley wasn't the only person keen to have Lennon silenced. The US government wasn't exactly thrilled with Lennon's anti-war sentiments either. So when Elvis met with President Richard Nixon on December 21st, 1970, he found a receptive audience when he tried to convince the POTUS to find a way to get rid of Lennon and the Beatles. According to the official White House meeting notes from the president's personal file, Presley indicated that the Beatles had been a real force for anti-American spirit. He said that the Beatles came to this country, made their money, and then returned to England where they promoted.
Oh, they ain't from America. He saw the Green Corps is, whatever the damn. He said, we let y'all come here and make all this money, and y'all don't want to support us. He said, I'm going to ship y'all ass back. Dang. I didn't know that about the Beatles. I didn't know they was from England. I gotta think I'm a different age.
Bio. Presley indicated that the Beatles had been a real force for anti-American spirit. He said that the Beatles came to this country, made their money, and then returned to England where they promoted an anti-American theme. The president nodded in agreement. And Elvis wasn't done lobbying for Lennon's removal. In 1971, during a tour of the FBI offices, the King met with then-director J. Edgar Hoover. According to government records, he expressed the opinion that the Beatles laid the groundwork for many of the problems we are having with young people by their filthy, unkempt appearances and suggestive music.
Dang.
Elvis got his wish as
he said the Beatles had them out looking filthy.
The FBI did indeed go after Lennon, spending years attempting to get him deported in order to ensure he didn't damage right-wing political goals through his activism. On the surface, Elvis and crooner Robert Goulet couldn't have been more different. The former was a boundary-pushing, controversial rock and roll pioneer, the latter an inoffensive ballad-singing performer whose presence wouldn't be unexpected on the Lawrence Welk Show. Legend has it that the short-tempered Elvis had little patience for seeing Goulet on TV, and once shot one of his television sets when he saw the crooner perform. But while it's apparently true that Elvis did shoot a TV while Goulet was performing, the rumors of a supposed...
Hold on. Elvis did what? Niggas shot a TV because somebody was on it? They must be beefing. It must be something behind the stores we don't all know.
Legend has it that the short-tempered Elvis had little patience for seeing Goulet on TV, and once shot one of his television sets when he saw the crooner perform. But while it's apparently true that Elvis did shoot a TV while Goulet was performing, the rumors of a supposed beef between them may have been overblown. According to author Lisa Rogers, Goulet would later call Presley a, quote, personal friend. And as for shooting the TV whenever Goulet was on, Presley reportedly did that to scores of TVs, and it had less to do with Goulet himself and more to do with the King's short fuse and his jealousy of all other performers. He was also known to fire at the TV when other popular singers such as Mel Torme or Frank Sinatra appeared as well. In fact, according to the Vintage News, Elvis's handlers kept scores of spare TVs around in case their boss happened to shoot one. That's kind of...
He was out here really shooting TVs, bro? And had the bitches stacked up outside? I'm just playing. Goddamn, hell, they got the TV stacked up for him shooting that bitch. Them TVs probably was expensive too. Them probably was the plasmas back in the day. 600, 300, 400, 400. I'm just talking shit. Damn, that's crazy. My boy, you got sweat temper. You got a woo side, Elvis. Woo side.
To the Vintage News, Elvis's handlers kept scores of spare TVs around in case their boss happened to shoot one. That's kind of screwy. By the middle 1950s, rock and roll was becoming a thing, with pioneers like Elvis, Bill Haley, and Chuck Berry bringing a new form of music to the masses and teenagers eating it up. This presented something of a problem for old guard musicians like Bing Crosby, Perry Como, and the like. Careers were threatened, and concerns were raised about what effect the new form of music was having on the morality of America's youth. And Frank Sinatra, for his part, basically called rock and roll garbage. According to The Express, in 1957, he said of rock and roll, "It fosters almost totally negative and destructive reactions in young people. It smells phony and false. It is sung, played, and written for the most part by cretinous goons." Elvis wasn't about to brook being called a cretinous goon by old Blue Eyes. In a press conference, Elvis responded by saying, "He has a right to his opinion, but I can't see him knocking it for no good reason. I admire him as a performer and an actor, but I think he's badly mistaken about this. If I remember correctly, he was also part of a trend. I don't see how he can call the youth of today immoral and delinquent." The two seem to have buried the hatchet eventually.
That boy Elvis had a good publisher. Oh, he was cool with his words, man. That was player. He can have his own opinion. You remember you set your trend? I mean, that was nice. That was professional right there. That's professional.
I hire him as a performer and an actor, but I think he's badly mistaken about this. If I remember correctly, he was also part of a trend. I don't see how he can call the youth of today immoral and delinquent. The two seem to have buried the hatchet eventually, at least professionally. In 1960, after Elvis completed his time in the U.S. Army, Sinatra hosted a TV special called Welcome Home Elvis. No word whether anyone shot.
Guys, I never knew Elvis came from went to the Army or the military. I never knew that. We gonna have to do a video about that. I never knew that.
About the TV. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more grunge videos about your favorite stars of yesteryear are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss us.
Celebrities Elvis couldn't stand. Huh? I was surprised. I was surprised about the Beatles. Hey, well, I feel like everybody got their own opinions. We got our own reasons why we don't like people or got disagreements with people. Everybody ain't perfect. But that's pretty funny about the TVs being shot. Like, my boy, you got a short temper. And he was by the TVs and stacking up. If it's false, yeah. But it's funny, though, if it was true. Like, comment, subscribe, tune in, more videos on the way. Every day we're working. Every day we back in the trap, man.